Welcome to the first session in the playlist of Law and Language from Dharmapeetam. So in this first session, I just would like to welcome all those who had decided to take law as their profession. And before we start with the relation between law and language, or how important language is as far as your legal professional success is concerned and all these kinds of things, I just want to ask a simple question. After successfully completing the law course, either a bachelor's program or a master's program, any other program, what are the things or the attributes behind your success? What are those things that you think are going to attribute your success? Basically, there are two aspects behind every successful professional. The first thing is knowledge regarding what the profession is. For example, as far as we people are concerned, the core subject is law, and the kind of understanding that we have regarding the law of the land is what contribute to the knowledge part here. Simply we can say it as the what's. The what's means what is the situation, what are the kinds of things that we need to concentrate on that, or which law, which clause, which article, which section can be brought into this, or where, which part has to be implemented. All these kinds of technical aspects regarding the usage of law is something that contribute to the knowledge aspect as far as your professional success is concerned. The second attribute is skills. Skills means the professional skills, the communication skills. Professional skills means what? The whys. Why this particular section has to be brought into here, or how this particular article or section or whatever that is can be brought into this particular situation. Those aspects along with proper communication skills. Law is also a technical course. A technical course is actually an entirely different system than that of the ordinary one. Obviously, the language that we use in any technical system is the same, but the way that it contributes to that particular environment is different. The words has got such kind of a magic which can make ordinary looking sentences also, or either spoken or written, into an entirely different world. And that is what makes technical language different from the common language. The efficiency by which a professional can handle this particular skill, communication, is very important behind the success of every professional. This is one particular area where we need to concentrate on. So, what are those major skills which are required, professional skills that are required if you want to become a successful lawyer, a legal professional, a legal practitioner? Some among them, some of those professional skills that is mostly required by a lawyer, a legal professional, includes the things like analytical skills, research skills, logical skills, logical thinking, logical analytics kind of things, inquiry skills, comprehension skills, writing skills, and arbitrary skills, means the way by which we argue with other people, arguing skills we can say. So these skills are basically all around analyzing the case that we have in our hand, correlating that with the previous cases or the law of the land, what has to be brought, from where it has to be brought, how that has to be implemented in it, all these kinds of things. The case has to be analyzed properly, and in studying the details of the case, they have to ask so many kind of questions with their client. So inquiry skills has to be brought, and when this particular skill is used, an inquiry skill is used, a legal professional mostly cannot use the technical terminology, because his client can be an ordinary citizen who may not have any idea or knowledge about those kind of vocabulary. So the same thing has to be brought into the common man's language, used the same kind of things against the client to grab more information about it, and that has to be processed. And in that process, a legal professional may have to do some research regarding such kinds of incidents or cases earlier, how some particulars of those cases can be brought into the consideration of this particular case over here. So some researches has to be done. Then the logical analytical skills kinds of things, to weigh his options, to weigh his chances, prepare his arguments. Then comprehension skills. The different aspects by which a law can be attributed over to a case has to be analyzed properly, because the way he is going to present that case is what is going to make a difference as far as settling a particular issue that his client has got. But most important of all these things is, all these things can be done are happening behind the screen. A legal professional is using all these kinds of skills behind the screen and not in front of the screen. In front of the screen means in the court. So there, how he is going to present this particular point is what is going to make all the differences. So that is where the professional usage of a language in presenting a particular case he has got in front of him is going to play a vital role. The law is already there, it's already in its existence, and how we are going to present it along with the particular law which is already existing is going to make the difference. Means, even though we have a great knowledge regarding the content, the knowledge aspect of the law of the land, if we are not able to present in a way which is going to make an impact in the court, our success can always be a limited part. We cannot proclaim huge success with those kinds of situations. So along with this legal content knowledge that we are developing through the course, if we are able to improve our language aspects, that is also very, very important. And when it comes to the language aspect, there are two major areas where we need to concentrate on. The first one is spoken part of a language, and I am concentrating mostly on English. The second part is a written part of it. And we know there are different or a wide range of scope that we have got with a legal professional aspect. So what are the ways by which we can develop our profession in the spoken format of it? There is a pedagogical aspect of it. There is an academic aspect of it. There is a professional aspect of it. And this is one another beautiful what we can say importance as far as the technical course is concerned. It's not oriented purely on the industry, means the court, the professional, the professional means the profession as a lawyer, an advocate or a judge. Not just that, there is an academic part as well. For example, we know those who come to our classrooms are as professors and lecturers, they have also completed the same course in law. So there is an academic part, there is a professional part, and there is a research part behind the academic part, which is now concentrating mostly on how well or how effectively this can be brought to the students. And that is what attributes to the pedagogical aspect, the lectures or the kind of moods that we have in our institution, mood courts. So your performance and all these kinds of things there are very well assessed, evaluated, right? So all such kinds of things are happening in a research part behind the academic aspect, that part. Now academic in the classrooms, it's not just happening in the classroom. Even see, after completing the course, we become professional lawyers, we register, we complete it, we go into the court. There we have got a lot of people, our own community called the lawyers or the advocates happening there, or judges. There will be a lot of discussions happening over there regarding the case, regarding some reference cases and all these kinds of things. If you join a firm, a law firm, there you will be a part of a team where a senior leader will be leading the case and you will be among a group of juniors to assist him, support him. Even there, language is very important. Coming to the professional aspect, there are 2 or 3 major areas happening there. This is very important. If you become a professional lawyer, an advocate, see, you have to happen a very officially informal communication with the client, right? As I said earlier, he may not be able to completely understand this strict legal terminology, vocabulary and all these kinds of things. So we have to talk to him in a pure, simple language. Not only the client, the supporting people like a witness and all these kinds of people also, we may have to do the same thing. If you are discussing some kinds of case with some of our colleagues or seniors or juniors, that is happening in a different level. It won't be completely formal, but at the same time it won't be completely informal as well. We can call it something like a semi-formal kind of a vocabulary or language will be used there. The third is the most important one in the court of law. There is nothing happening in a informal mode or a semi-formal mode. Everything has to happen in a very strictly formal mode, and our presentation, our language, the vocabulary, all these kinds of things matters very much there. Spoken format. Professionally speaking, your success as a lawyer or whatever in a legal profession is purely based on how we are going to perform in the court of law. So that is how the spoken language is going to have an impact in our success. Now, with the written language formats, we have a academic, we have a judicial, we have a legislature as well. So what brings academic part here? The textbooks. The syllabus that is prepared and provided to you as a part of your course is also done after a great research. It's not just the sections and the legal aspects. It has got a lot of importance as far as the language also is concerned, right? So the textbooks, the different journal kinds of things related to this particular profession, those make a lot of difference. The second aspect is purely juridical. The way by which the cases are dealt with, the cases are argued in the court of law, and how the judgments are made if it is about the judges. Argument part is purely for the lawyers, the advocates, and judgment part is purely for the judges. Then it comes to the legislature part, the law making part. There also written. Law is nothing else but a set of rules, regulations by which the ethnical values of the society, the social values of the society, the social harmony of the society where we are in are being taken care of. So those guidelines, those sets of values, rules and all has to be expressed, and language is nothing else but a medium by which these points are being explained. No law can be conveyed without the use of a language. So when a particular law is conveyed, expressed using the medium of language, it has to be understood properly, it has to be completely foolproof, it has to be conveyed in such a way that the people who are involved in that are able to understand it properly without any kinds of doubts in that. So the use of language in making a law, expressing a law, or explaining a law is very important. And obviously, these are the three basic areas where a language is very closely connected with a law. Making, explaining, expressing. So the first one, law making. Administrators make law. So when it comes to a state, a country, legislature is what is in power regarding the lawmaking aspect. But companies also have law, their own internal kind of a law system, which is actually made by the administrative department regarding the companies. So in general, we can say administrators, legislatures are also administrators, no? So we can confine it such a way. But when a law is made, the most important thing that need to be considered is that it accommodates the definitive disagreements regarding that the impact of the utilization of language is important. If there is a dispute, a problem, it has to be brought to a solution. So the different aspects related to that particular thing has to be brought into it. Just by expressing a law, it may not be possible, but effective usage of language is important to include all the other surrounding concerns related to that, so that it can be a valid one. So when we make a law, the kind of language that we use in that is very important. It has to be conclusive. Okay, then some specific characteristics are used by these people who make the law. And that is why quite often law is something which is unique looking, lengthy sentences with a different type of constructions inside it. It is because, just as I said earlier, it has to be conclusive. It has to bring all other aspects related to that, so that it cannot be disputed anywhere else. As I said, law by its nature is technical. So there are a lot of technical terminology which are being used by these lawmakers. A technical terminology, obviously that is nothing else but a common terminology. But when it is used in a technical system, it will have a different attribute, a different meaning, a different sense all of a sudden. So such kind of languages, such kind of a language system is being used in law, and that is why it is quite difficult for the common man to understand it. But it's a trouble of the lawmakers to make it conclusive and comprehensive. So the effective usage of law is quite important to make it achieve both the conclusiveness and completeness of it. So language is quite important as far as lawmaking is concerned. Now, expressing law. As I said, this is the most important part as far as a legal professional is concerned, especially if you want to become successful as a lawyer. Expressing law is nothing else but the way by which these law of the land are used in a court of law. And this is something that is what is happening during the trial process. As we know, during the trial process that is happening in the court of law, there will be two professionals arguing over there. And literally in some situations we can say what is happening over there is nothing else but a war of words. The war of words. The law on which both these professionals are actually arguing is all but the same. All but the same. One will be arguing for that, in favor of that. One will be arguing against that. It's the same law. But who wins is the one who uses his language quite effectively. Because in this process of trial, what matters the most is who presents it well. Both the legal professionals will be arguing on the same law, and the judgment is usually made on one particular aspect, and that is whose argument out of these two professionals arguing for the same law, on the same law, whose arguments are most convincing in terms of completeness, consistency and credibility. How can we establish ourselves consistent, credible and complete? Purely by the way by which we use the language, right? So that's what I said. The difference in our success, the professional success and failure, is decided by this particular phenomenon called expressing the law, right? So this is an area where we have to literally play with it. Literally play with it. Just for an example, we can consider the issue that is happening regarding the 17A. Section 17A. See, the same professional who once argued for that is now arguing against that. How he is able to do that? It's the same one again. How effectively the reasons behind that particular point is brought out using effective usage of language, right? And this is the third part, and that is called expressing the law, explaining the law, interpreting the law. Interpreting the law means nothing else but explaining the law in a common man's language. We can simply say that. But when we try to convey it, when a complicated looking sentence of a law point is being explained in a common man's language, it can have a huge impacts. We know the usage of language. A simple looking sentence can have different meanings by which how we use it, how we express it. For example, let us consider a sentence. I didn't steal your money. I didn't steal your money. So somebody lost his money and they were making some inquiry, and we make a statement, I didn't steal your money. I didn't steal your money. It means we have got no idea regarding what happened to your money. That's it. But when we convey the same sentence like I didn't steal your money, I didn't steal your money, some kind of a stress is given on this particular part called I. Means I didn't do that, it's done by somebody else. Okay, it's not done by me, actually that is done by somebody else. Another way, I didn't steal your money. I didn't steal your money. So here the stress is actually given to the word steal. Means I didn't steal it, I just borrowed it, or as I was walking I found the money fallen on the ground, I just took it from there, or when I walked across I found the money on the table, I just took it from there. Just took it or just borrowed it from you. It's not stealing, right? Or we can say the same sentence like I didn't steal your money. I didn't steal your money. So the stress is actually on the word now your. Means it's not your money. Yes, I did steal the money. I took it. I accept it. But the money is not yours. It belongs to somebody else. Or we can say I didn't steal your money. Now the stress is on money. Means what? I took something else. I stole your keys, I stole your mobile phone, I steal your books, something else but not money. So the way by which we express that particular sentence, just by shifting a stress, it can have different meanings. So interpretation of law or explaining the law or expressing the law in the court of law makes a lot of difference in the way by which we use it using a language. And these two aspects are very important because our professional success basically lie behind these two aspects. Are we going to be a successful professional once we have completed our course? It may not be the ranks that we are going to score in academics. It's all on our performance. And as I said in the beginning, there are two things that we need mostly behind we ourselves becoming a successful professional, and that is the two things, the knowledge aspect to the skill aspect. So some of these skills like analytical skills, research skills and all these kinds of things can be developed. It can be developed through continuous practicing. Once after completing our the professional course, once when we join some seniors and once when we start as a junior, we will be pushed through a lot of such kinds of things, and that could give us a very wide practical knowledge, hand-on experience into all these kinds of aspects, and obviously we will have a chance to develop them. But it's the right time as far as you people are concerned to start learning language, or how to use language efficiently to make our profession a successful one. So I think you might have got some greater inputs regarding how important language is to making or to make our profession a successful one. So in the coming sessions, we will be dealing with the details of this particular points, some language aspects as well, so that it will be more informative and useful you people are concerned. Okay, so wait for those sessions. Thank you.